Ezekiel chapter 13. False prophets condemned. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel who are now prophesying. Say to them, those who prophesy out of their own imagination, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Your prophets, O Israel, are like jackals among ruins. You have not gone up to the breaks in the wall to repair it for the house of Israel so that it will stand firm in the battle on the day of the Lord. Their visions are false and their divinations a lie. They say, the Lord declares, when the Lord has not sent them. Yet they expect their words to be fulfilled. Have you not seen false visions and uttered lying divinations when you say, the Lord declares, though I have not spoken? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Because of your false words and your lying visions, I am against you, declares the sovereign Lord. My hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and utter lying divinations. They will not belong to the council of my people or be listed in the records of the house of Israel, nor will they enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Lord. Because they lead my people astray, saying, peace, when there is no peace, and because when a flimsy wall is built, they cover it with whitewash. Therefore, tell those who cover it with whitewash that it is going to fall. Rain will come in torrents, and I will send hailstones hurtling down, and violent winds will burst forth. When the wall collapses, will people not ask you, where is the whitewash you covered it with? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. In my wrath, I will unleash a violent wind, and in my anger, hailstones and torrents of rain will fall with destructive fury. I will tear down the wall you have covered with whitewash and will level it to the ground so that its foundation will be laid bare. When it falls, you will be destroyed in it, and you will know that I am the Lord. So I will spend my wrath against the wall and against those who covered it with whitewash. I will say to you, the wall is gone, and so are those who whitewashed it. Those prophets of Israel who prophesied to Jerusalem and saw visions of peace for her when there was no peace, declares the sovereign Lord. Now, son of man, set your face against the daughters of your people who prophesy out of their own imagination. Prophesy against them and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to the women who sew magic charms on all their wrists and make veils of various lengths for their heads in order to ensnare people. Will you ensnare the lives of my people but preserve your own? You have profaned me among my people for a few handfuls of barley and scraps of bread. By lying to my people who listen to lies, you have killed those who should not have died and have spared those who should not live. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I'm against your magic charms with which you ensnare people like birds, and I will tear them from your arms. I will set free the people that you ensnare like birds. I will tear off your veils and save my people from your hands, and they will no longer fall prey to your power. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Then you, because you dishearten the righteous with your lies, when I had brought them no grief, and because you encourage the wicked not to turn from their evil ways and so save their lives. Therefore, you will no longer see false visions or practice divination. I will save my people from your hands, and then you will know that I am the Lord. Okay, there's a lot here too. Oh my goodness. Ezekiel has a lot. Listen to what he's saying. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Because of your false words and lying visions, I am against you, declares the sovereign Lord. My hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and utter lying divinations. So even during this time, they would, you could pay a priest. Priests would do what they felt was right in their own heart, what benefited them. There were some wealthy priests even at this point. There were powerful priests. There were priests who had just were not helping, following the laws, following the commands at all. Like I mentioned before in a previous Bible study, at this point, you could go in the temple and worship whatever. They'd be like, okay, who you want to worship today? Cost you 3 silver coins, you know? And so the Lord was telling them, I see that these are happening. And, again, at this time, people were still, and it shows you that people still seek, and they get misguided, but people seek. They seek something because they know that there's something out there. They know that there's a higher power. They know that there is something. They don't know what. And so they go to seek, and then you have the person who knows, in this case, a false prophet, a prophet that is not following the Lord, leads them astray, not helpful. And the Lord sees this. And so he's telling them, hey, prophets, they're getting paid money to get these false visions, to get these things that they're making up in their own mind, in their own head, and telling the people, leading them astray. Not telling them they don't have to confess because the 3 silver coins paid for it. And so, and not holding people accountable. So the Lord's saying, okay, you too are going to be held accountable. He goes on to say here, therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against your magic charms with which you ensnare people like birds and will tear them from your arms. I will set free the people that you ensnare like birds. Because at this time, even there was witchcraft, things that were done in the temple, around the temple, that were self-reliant, not seeking the Lord, thinking that whatever herb, spices, whatever, wishing upon a star, all that other stuff was going to remember the things that are creation, part of creation, not the creator, but things that are part of creation would somehow help benefit the people. So at this time, the Ezekiel is saying, the Lord is telling them, look, you're leading the people astray. Not only are you leading the people astray, but you're putting on acts. You're putting on these things, and you're saying that this is, something that's going to help the people. These rocks, these shiny rocks around your wrist, is going to help protect them from war and famine. Not the case. So the Lord is telling them, look, I see the wrongness here. None of this, you didn't seek me. This was not guided from this. None of my guidance. This is going to stop as well. Consequences are to happen. Bringing past to present. And we talked about this before. We know that in life, people do seek. People do seek things. People do have that feeling of needing fulfillment. And understanding that need for fulfillment comes from the Lord, comes from the Creator, the person who created us. And He is there. He is always there. He's always here. He's here now. And so He is the living God. So whenever those thoughts come, whenever those feelings come up, seek the Lord's guidance. Provide the Lord's guidance. Even if it means you don't know what that person's going to say, you can always say, hey, try some prayer sometime to the Lord. Always go to the Lord for guidance. Seek His guidance, and also offer that He has guidance. Before we go on, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?